Right, first of our team makeup programmes for Phoenix TV this season. Now we've got a few signings. I'm here with Jake and Pete to just have a wee natter about it and give them our expert opinions.
One day you'll say that without laughing.
Yeah. Right, looking at it lines-wise, this is basically our ideas and what we think. Tony will no doubt phone me up tomorrow and tell me that we've got it all wrong, but never mind.
In words that cannot be broadcast until after 9 o'clock.
Looking at our forwards, we've got Michael Cerny, we've got Frankie Bakarlik, and the Willy Wonty player, Tony, if he plays. That's got to be our first line, I would think, looking at it so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Cerny first line winger last time. Bakarlik, I think, was first line in Slough. Obviously, if Tony's playing, you'd imagine, obviously, he'll keep himself in the top line because he can obviously pull the strings. But again, you don't know if we get a better forward in. Maybe, like I said, Tony might want to kind of drop back or rest himself a little bit more. I don't know.
Do you think we'll get even more from Michael?
Yeah, I think so. Especially if he's playing on a top line, if Tony does decide to lace his skates up, himself and Frankie on that top line, that's going to produce some really, really nice looking numbers.
I just like the idea of Frankie. He'll go in where it hurts. He'll win all the dirty pucks and things like that. I think he's big and strong.
Yeah.
Well, I think people have been saying, trying to make him to be like the next Marcus Christopherson. I think hopefully it could be a cross between Christopherson and Flatten, whereas you get Christopherson's kind of point production and Flatten's work rate in the corners. And if we can get that first line's probably going to be as dangerous as any in the league.
Yeah, obviously we've got James Archer back as well. His sidekick Tom's not around, but James really stepped up to the plate last year, didn't he, Jake?
Yeah, really good season. Obviously we spoke to him last week when we announced the re-signing, but a really, really good player. He said it himself. He'd have liked to have put up a few more points, but I think he was a bit hard done by with his injury and his illness. I think if we can keep him fit for the entire season, he'll perform on a really, really top level for us.
And Pete, we brought Andy back, Andy McKinney. I think that's great. I just thought last year he added that extra bit of grit and was basically there and around when we wanted him and never ever failed to step up when required.
Well, I think you've pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Obviously, he brings that grit and that kind of physical presence. I mean, he's not afraid to drop the gloves. He's not afraid to throw the hits. But he's obviously got something more to his game than that. I mean, when Tony was out injured, obviously Andy was brought up to the first line to centre it at times. And that's obviously Tony sees a bit more in him than just someone who can hit and fight. He can put up decent numbers. He's a good hockey player. So he brings a bit of everything, really, I think.
Right, and this week's signings, Jake, we brought the big man back, Big Robert, to come back on the defence. And of course, we've also got Luke Boothroyd. Certainly two key men to bring back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Luke, like we said in his interview, he's part and parcel with the Phoenix now. He contributes at both ends of the ice fantastically, and Robert's just such a good signing. He's huge. He's solid in defence. When he's on top of his game, for me, he's the best defenseman in the league. He's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Again, Robert Schnabel, when he's on form, and that immense. And I think it's the only word you can use. I mean, at the back, he can hit, he can defend. He's been at the highest level, so he knows what it takes to obviously win stuff. And that scores some pretty goals. Got one heck of a slap shot from the blue line, so he can utilise that. That's going to add a couple of goals. Boothroyd again, called up to the GB squad, and that. What more do you need to say? I mean, he's reliable. Can score on the power play. I think got 6-7 goals now. Hit double figures. Again, you know what you're going to get with Luke. Nothing kind of flashy. He's not going to stand out. He just kind of blends into the background, and you don't really notice him as such.
And of course, in the playoff finals, if you'd been there, you'd have seen this, Pete.
Yeah.
Really, the goals from the back post, Luke's back post goal. In fact, he nearly repeated it about 20 seconds later. It's certainly something that they've worked on.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, a few people maybe have criticised the power play in previous seasons, and that. But last year, when it was clicking, and it clicked fairly often, it was a thing of beauty at times.
I think you think about that potential power play next year. If we've got Cerny, Hand, Bakarlik, Boots, and Schnabel, that's quite a formidable looking power play.
Yeah, I think you can hear some of the goalie pads sort of shaking all the way down south. So yeah, just from those signs we've got so far, there's a lot of potential with the team.
Well, that's really what we've got so far. We've got to replace Barry McKenzie, Tom Duggan and Andre Poseville, but Tony's never let us down so far, so I'm fully expecting us to get people in that will carry on the tradition.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at from when Tony's been here, there's probably only 2 or 3 signings you could probably look at and go, they maybe didn't quite work out. And that, apart from that, he's probably like 98, 99% kind of rating where everyone he seems to bring in tends to do a job. So I know, I think someone's been going and saying, in Tony we trust, or whatever. Maybe we need to have those printed on t-shirts or something, but he obviously knows what he's doing. He's proved it season after season after season. And again, I think if we can keep the injury bug away, and if we'd have done the previous 2 seasons, I could generally see us sort of like the last 2 seasons winning the league. And again, there's no reason with the kind of recruiting that he's done so far that we've not got a basis for a very strong team again.
Right, well, that's about it for the team makeup at the moment. From your 3 experts, I don't think Don Cherry's got too much to worry about really on that, and I can see Tony losing a wee bit more here once he sees this one.
Yeah.
But there we go, that's just our thoughts, and there'll be plenty more during the summer.